welcome to the All Inclusive Podcast. I'm your host, Shy, and today we have an amazing show for you guys. Today we have Blue Heart Journey, and she is, well, her company is Blue Heart Journey, um, and she is a clinical mental health counselor. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the All Inclusive Podcast.
Good evening. Thank you so much for having me.
Listen, thank you so much. You are streaming in from Florida, right?
Yes, sunny South Florida, where the weather.
Sunny side Florida. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Um, I'm so excited to have you on. Connection is real.
Mm-hmm.
Godly connection,
Yeah.
it's real. So I'm so excited for us to have this conversation that we're gonna have. My temperature check, I'm hot. I'm ready to rock and roll. I'm ready to have this conversation. What's your temperature check?
Oh, it's been one of those weeks, and I'm ready.
Hmm.
It's like a
You
let it
ready?
flow. I'm ready.
Let it flow. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. So your company is Blue Heart Journey. You go by
I
Sam.
do.
And today we're gonna have a conversation about love, but we're gonna have it in a different way. I wanted to bring on a professional that deals with mental health because a lot of times around this time, which Valentine's Day is coming up, um, people start to feel sad or they start to feel despair because they don't have a mate. But you sometimes are your best mate, especially if you've gone through some trauma or drama or whatever you want to call it, right?
Absolutely.
Um, so we're going to just get right on into it, right? What made you want to get into counseling?
Ooh. For a number of reasons. Oftentimes, when someone deems you as crazy or you don't know what you're talking about, the first scope that you have is looking at your own family. And then, with that same lens, you start looking in the mirror and started to figure out, okay, something is up with me. What makes me tick? Why do I do the
Mm-hmm.
things that I do? And I began that journey of self discovery when I decided to dig a little deeper into who I am and why I do the things that I
Mm-hmm.
do. And along the way, I discovered Samantha.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
Self
That's powerful.
self discovery. So in that, it started off with, oh, what is my personality style? And I started off
Mm-hmm.
as being pessimistic. And at the beginning, I was like, well, what is pessimistic? One of my friends
Mm-hmm.
actually told me, she's like, you need to check your explanatory style. And I was like, huh?
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, well, what does that mean? And being the researcher that I am, I was like, you know what? Let me figure this out. So instead of seeing the glass half empty, I had to
Mm-hmm.
change how I saw myself, viewed life, my world view. All of that had to
Mm-hmm.
change. And that's where I began that path years ago. And here I am now. And it has truly been Blue Heart's journey.
Yes, yes, yes. I was gonna ask you what made you, name your company Blue Heart Journey, but you literally just said it. Just that self discovery, that eye opening, experience and self love and just figuring out who you are and what you came from,
Hmm.
and understand that you don't have to be a reflection of what you came from.
Absolutely. We get
Yeah.
to create our own path every single day. And that when
Mhm.
you do that, it's a deep dive into what's looking back in the mirror. Do you love what you're looking
Mhm.
at? The words that come out of
Yeah.
your mouth, are they impeccable? Do you
Mhm.
believe the words that you say when you're doing those affirmations? I had to start from the bottom and not having a blueprint
Mhm.
as to what that looks like because growing up, you didn't hear all of those things. Mental health was
Mhm.
so taboo and is so taboo.
Yes.
So I want to work within a community where I get to change that stigma, that attached to
Mm-hmm.
mental health and all of
Yes.
in every facet and what that looks like.
Yes, 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 yes. When you talk about mental health, I think about, you know, my journey with mental health. And it started when I was a child. I started therapy when I was maybe about 5 or 6. And I had a lot of mental health struggles, depression and just taking medications and, being hospitalized and stuff like that. And I'm being transparent because that's a lot. A lot of people don't know that about me. Like, they see God's grace on my
Yeah.
life, right? But they don't know what it took to get to this point, what struggles I had, and what things I just had to say, you know what? This cannot define who I
Mm,
am. This cannot define what I'm called to do. This is a minute part of what my journey is going to look like. And um I'm actually glad that I had the experiences and the struggles in my mental health because now I could just see it in people.
mhm.
Now I have compassion, I have empathy for people because there's a difference between sympathy and
Go
empathy.
ahead now.
Okay, when you sympathize, you're like, I could kind of understand, but when you empathize with a
Mhm.
person, you're like, not can I just understand? Let me guide you in a way that can help you get out of this.
Mhm. You're putting yourself in that
And
position.
yeah,
And then
and it's like grace.
yes.
It's grace.
Yes.
And not only do you give yourself grace, you're giving that person grace to grow, to heal,
Mm.
you know, and to just be. Because a lot of us in life just want to be. That's it. You just want to be.
Yeah.
And so I I'm grateful for my journey in mental health. And even now I see a therapist and I'm grateful for that journey. And now it's me dealing with big girl problems. um and and one of the big girl problems, because we're talking about love, is what's your current love story, your healing journey? And you said I was able to say this after divorce.
Mhm. Yes. So it started, when a thing is over, when you
Mm-hmm.
mentally and emotionally leave the relationship. You
Whew.
can, okay, you can love someone and not be in love with them. You can honor the vow and still want to be
Mm-hmm.
packing your bags. And
Mm-hmm.
when that process started, backtracking a little bit, when I got married, I did not see divorce. We would saying this
Mm-hmm.
mantra, divorce is not an option, till it became the only option.
Ooh.
The only option. And when you get married, you don't get married with divorce in mind. So, with that
Mm-hmm.
being said, 16 years was a long time to be connected to someone. And
Mm.
a transparent moment, this was my second marriage. My first one was with the father of my children for 14 years.
Mm-hmm.
Second marriage, 16 years. So that's a large cap of my life being in a committed
Yeah.
relationship with two people. And at the end of this divorce within the second one, it I said, you know what? I need to divorce with dignity because so much
Mm.
of yourself is lost. It's a true death of a relationship and of a union
Yeah.
between someone. And it's like, okay, here we are. And there are certain things that are challenged in that, your mental health, your financial
Mm-hmm.
stability, your whole person and how you show up in the world and those things that you have connected with people that came from two families. Because when you're married, this thing comes together like this in a death, it's
Yeah.
ripping.
Mm-hmm.
Not only did I have to go through my own mental health, therapist, a holistic therapist, and a professional therapist. And then on top of
Mm,
that, divorce care. So those are four different entities to get me to the place that I am now, to where I'm openly expressing that I went through a divorce and I came out whole,
whew,
happy, and whole. Because that is some that when I tell you sitting in the mornings in that mirror, it didn't always look like
mm-hmm,
that. So
mm,
my current state is the love that I found through the process, the love of this woman that I look in the mirror and affirm her daily.
mm,
I love who's looking back at me in the mirror. And I now
mm,
believe those affirmations, taking that time to sit with yourself and be alone with yourself, sitting in the
mm,
car and not getting the wiggles and the squirms like, oh my gosh, I have to get so much busy in my head because you can't deal with
mm,
what's going on upstairs. So
yeah,
along the way, I've journeyed and journaled.
mm,
And
mm,
at some point during this sit down with you, I'll share a little bit of insight. And back in July 1st of 2023, I journaled single on purpose.
ooh,
The richest soil for growth is cultivated when you are single. The rich
mm.
soil, because you by yourself, but
You by yourself, yeah,
you
yeah,
but you're not really by yourself because something happens when you start cultivating soil. It gets rich.
mm-hmm,
Times and most times it has to be desolate for a while. It's the
mm-hmm,
turning of a new thing. So when you starting all
yeah,
over. So there's a spiritual component in being single too.
yeah, yeah. You and I were literally just talking about that right before we started to record. Um,
Yes.
and I was like, sometimes God has to hurt you,
Mm-hmm.
hurt your heart so that you can tear away.
Mm-mm.
Listen, and I know because I wasn't married, but I was engaged. And then I started the pod, and the response that I got was just, it was like my first podcast I had just recorded, and we got into an argument, and something was said. And she's not a bad woman.
Mm-hmm.
She's not a bad woman. It's just what came out of the argument made me really, it made me really realize that I was dealing with a person that couldn't handle me being successful and more so walking in my purpose.
Mm-hmm.
And while they were finishing the thing that they wanted to finish, and I had supported them through it. And it was like, really, you feel that way about me? About, and in my mind, I'm like, I don't say this no more because this is a big podcast. But my little podcast, I only did one episode. What? And it made me like realize and just opened up my eyes. It was like I had blinders on before, but then it made me open up my eyes to things, and I was like, wow. And it made me walk away, and it took me some time,
Mm-hmm.
but I walked away, and I could really say being single, I really am happy. I'm dating right now, but I'm not in a committed relationship.
Okay.
So it's like I'm really, and I'm not just dating, like this person is really just like an amazing person. And no matter what, we still gonna be friends.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, just just being in a space where I could be myself. Just being in a space where I don't have to be judged, or I don't, you know, in the LGBTQ double I, all the letters, right? It's so many stigmas within the community, right? And one of the biggest stigmas is, oh, you're masculine presenting you want to be a man, or
Mm,
you're too masculine, or you're too feminine, and I'm all woman, don't want to be a man,
okay.
right?
Because being a woman is
And so
beautiful.
it's so beautiful, and I'm a black woman at that.
Yes.
The power in that, right? So it's like I don't want to be a man, and I need to be with someone that understands that I don't want to be a man. I want to be a woman,
Hmm.
and we both can have a leg in this thing.
Yeah.
In the pants, we could both have a leg in this
You
thing.
better talk up in here. You better talk.
Okay?
You better
Because
talk.
we it don't have to be this power struggle.
Mm.
The real power comes from partnership,
You,
right? Right? That's where the real power comes from.
that's the uniqueness of being in relation. We are hardwired for
Mm-hmm.
connection. Hardwired.
Mm-hmm. Ooh.
Before before we move forward in that, I'm a swing back. When we are
Mm-hmm.
dealing with people and in our advancement and where they are, people are only able
Mm-hmm.
to deal with you at a level in which they met you.
Whew. My God.
So when you begin to elevate in a partnership, partners do this. Relationship is like this.
Mm.
So you have to make sure that you're on the same playing field because a partner is going to call you up. Your friend is going to call you up. Your
Mm.
relationship is predicated on what you're in together. So
Mm.
we're going to move on from there. So here
Mm-hmm.
we go. In this thing called partnership, it is so beautiful. What do you someone had to ask me, someone being my therapist, say, well, what do you this time around, Sam, what do you want in this relationship? And I said, I don't want no
Mm.
relationship. Because I get to talk to her like
Mm-hmm.
that. I don't have to be all
Mm-hmm.
professional with her. Like
Right, right,
this my
right.
girl. This is an established like connection. She and I. She knows me
Mm-hmm.
because I am vulnerable with her, and I get to bring all my isms and schisms to her, and she challenged my thought
Yes.
process. I get to lay it all down. I don't have to dress it up, make it look like nothing. I go in and fully unzip, and there is no judgment. And that
Yes.
space where we listen and we don't judge, I think that came from a therapy room. I know it
Mm-hmm.
because as a therapist, that's what we do. We listen and we don't
Yeah.
judge. And judge for
Yeah.
what? I want to help you be your best version of who you are. And the only way that I
Yes.
can do what I do and do so well, I have to be transparent with someone too. And this podcast, when we initially spoke, it resonated so in my spirit that it is such a transparent moment. I get to show up here and just be. And
Mm-hmm.
when I tell you, it is so freeing to just to come and speak from my heart and speak from a lens that I've earned the right and the privilege to be able to speak from, and not because books say it,
Yeah.
my life says it.
Your life. Yeah.
My
I do want to stop and congratulate you because you did just walk across the
I
stage.
did. Thank you. Thank you.
You
Thank
did
you.
just walk across the
I
stage.
did. I did.
Listen,
Thank
congratulations.
you. Thank you.
I'm so very proud of you.
Thank you.
So very proud.
Thank you.
Yes.
Listen,
Yes.
listen, we're gonna say it. To God be the glory.
Be the
To
glory.
God be the
Yes.
glory. Because
Yes. Yes.
it
Yes.
is because of God that I move and have my being, and I count it all joy. And this has truly been a God journey. And along the way,
Yeah.
self-discovery.
Self-discovery. I I have another question for you.
Absolutely.
How do you refill your cup?
Woo. So it's this thing called self-love.
Mm-hmm.
There's self-care, and
Mm-hmm.
there's solo dates and
Mm-hmm.
while dating, because I am
Mm-hmm.
dating, and
Mm-hmm.
I show up full, and I
Mm-hmm.
don't have to. show up from a depleted cup, and I'm able to do that
Mm.
through refilling myself. So if I am giving from a space of deficit, I'm no good to anyone. My cup has
Yes.
to, I wouldn't say it always has to stay full because I'm human,
Mm-hmm.
but I know what
Mm-hmm.
self-care looks like for me. So it's saying no when I know that I'm not going to be able to give to my full capacity in which I would be proud of. So I have to say no to
Mm-hmm.
some clients. Even if that is your appointment time, I'm not going to overbook or overlap. I to
Mm-hmm.
take time to read and perfect my craft. I'm going to spend
Mm-hmm.
some time at the beach. I'm going to spend some time in solitude. Something as simple, and I love a good bubble bath. Pour, not pour, pour in the Dr.
Mm-hmm.
Teas. Pour
Okay.
into a tight bun. Put the
Mm-hmm.
mask on my face.
Mm-hmm.
Moisturize my hands because there's a thing called auntie hands within this gentle age that I am at. Just
Mm-hmm.
resting,
Yeah.
hydrating, something like it's so big to
Mm-hmm.
hydrate. That's how I recharge. And I see the holistic therapist, my
Mm-hmm.
professional therapist, and my personal
Mm-hmm.
therapist.
Okay.
And this is my sanctuary. Every time I cross, thank you for my place of peace. My life is not
Mm-hmm.
busy. I turned
Mm-hmm.
my TV off in 2016.
Mm-hmm.
Take a deep, let it go. I call it mind mush. So I'll
Mm-hmm.
turn it on if I need to watch the news and stuff like, but I don't get over inundated with the stresses of this world because
Yeah.
life is stressful enough, and the temperature check and climate where we are, things are kinda,
Mm-hmm.
things are iffy for a lot of people right now. So
Yeah.
making sure that my cup is full so that I'll be able to assist, because that's what we do, assist and
Mm-hmm.
offer points to ponder.
Yeah.
That's how I refill that cup, and some good music.
Mm-hmm.
And my friend group, my connections
Yes.
to my friend family,
Yes.
they love on me and they make life beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah. I I can honestly say a few years ago I had a bonfire birthday celebration and it was so amazing. Um and anybody that really knows me knows that I'll plan something for my birthday and then I'll be like, I'm not doing it. So the morning of, I literally was like, I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this. Text everybody was like, this is not happening. And my cousin called me and was like, Key, what is going on? And I'm like, I just I just don't want to people. Cause I'm an introvert by nature. What people see on the podcast is it's literally God using
Mm.
my weakness for his glory. Literally. So I I I said I don't want to people, I don't want to people. Ended up having the bonfire. And it was amazing. And one of the things I explained to them was what's in my cup is for me,
Mm-hmm.
but what's overflowing is for all of y'all.
You better talk.
It's for all of y'all. So when and recently I told one of my friends, I said, I don't feel full.
Mm.
So I don't have anything to give to anybody else. And when I mean overflowing, I mean I'm full. So by the time I pour, it's not even a pour. It's dripping down so y'all can get it. So then when y'all get what y'all need to get from me, I'm still good.
Mm-hmm.
I still have the mental capacity to do the things that I need to do on a daily
Yes.
basis.
That's good self-care.
And so
That's a
yeah,
self-care. And knowing
yeah.
when you're at a deficit, and knowing how to say,
Mhm.
you know what, I'm gonna shut this off. And in the
Mhm.
eyes of others, it was like it would seem selfish. And it's not. It's self-full.
It's a such thing. Yeah.
It's so
It's a
full.
such thing as being selfish and being selfish to be healthy.
I coined it as self full because I'm going to
Mhm.
fill and make sure that my cup is full. And
Mhm.
if we say it, if we go biblical with it, it's my cup runneth over.
Over.
Anything that runs
Mhm.
over is free game
Mhm. Mhm.
because the oil comes,
Yeah.
we talked about, from the top and it flows.
Listen.
It's gonna start at the top and make its way
Yeah.
down. It's free reign.
Yes.
It's free reign. So
Yeah.
that means it's extra, extra.
Mhm.
So it ain't gonna cost me
Yeah.
anything but a smile, and that's free all day, all day,
All day.
all day.
All day. My mother used to call me Smiley. She still does. In her phone, my name is Smiley because I used to just smile all the time. And so, yeah, yeah, I definitely can appreciate self care way more than I could appreciate it even 5 years ago.
Mm.
And that just shows my journey because 5 years ago was 2020, and 2020 was rough for a lot of
Hmm.
us. I do work in the healthcare industry, so you know that was really really tough. But I was like losing a lot of people during that year too, and that was the year that I conceived and miscarried, so that was even tougher.
Mm.
And so, um, I 5 years ago, this mindset didn't have it, didn't have it. I was overextending myself in the name of love
Mm.
because when we talk about love, because this is an episode that's going to air on Valentine's Day, but when we talk about love, love is not limited to intimate partner,
Hmm.
and we're going to transition into trauma bonding with that being said, because sometimes you trauma bond with friends, you trauma bond with family members, and it's not just the partner that you laying next to every night. Now you do trauma bond with them too. So as a therapist, can you give a definition of trauma bonding and some examples of trauma bonding?
Trauma bonding happens when there are unhealed aspects of who we are and we find commonality within another person. An
Mm,
example is you're fresh out of a 16-year marriage, newly divorced. Likeness finds likeness. You
mm,
then connect with someone that is fresh out of their relationship and you find it because energetically it's mirrored. So if
mm,
I'm talking to this new person about this experience that I've had with this person, be it good, bad, or indifferent, this person is going to mirror the same thing. Well, hey, I did A, B, C, D, and E too. And then now we have a connection. There's a bond there. And if they have not healed, over here being me, and them have not healed in anything, we're going to connect because of likeness. And two unhealed people, that is some trauma, that is some unhealthy and unhealed toxicity, and it is not
mm,
going to be found on anything worth moving forward with. And that is where now there's then in comes codependency, because if you didn't heal from something and I didn't heal, because I'm just talking about
mm,
me, I ain't talking about nobody else,
mm.
me.
Right.
If you've not
Mm,
healed anything, you guys are coming together to do what? Talk about all the
mm,
brokenness that went on there.
mm,
But if one person in that scenario is healed enough to be able to see that this is unhealthy, let's do what we need to do here. Let's call it
mhm,
quits. And that's where we get,
mhm,
oh, I saw a red flag. But what about the green flags too? Because you we're not all damaged. We're not all healed. It's
mhm,
still a process. So with that trauma
mhm,
bonding coming together, there's something that needs to happen there. Because you're not going to connect with something that's not healthy and unhealed. Because if you do, there's something wrong.
mhm,
Something's definitely wrong up there. So that's, for me, that's trauma bonding. And there's the
Mm-hmm.
underlining codependency, and something needs something in order for it to thrive and move forward. So a codependent can't have a narcissist. You can't have it without a narcissist. Something needs
Mm.
something in for it
Yeah.
to work and move forward.
Phew.
So there's some components of what some self-care look like. You got emotional, spiritual, personal, professional, physical, and psychological. And there's a self-care wheel. So before I leave here today, I'll leave you with some stuff to tag in to be able to share out with
Mm-hmm.
anybody that'll hear it and will hear it, that not
Yeah.
just one-dimensional people, we are multi-dimensional beings. And every
Yes.
aspect of who we are needs some love and some care. And it's not just the
Yeah.
heart, it's not just matters of the heart. It's all of
Yeah.
us. And we all need those things. So when you connect with someone, it may be the bonding of a physical component, but
Mm-hmm.
that psychological, the spiritual. So, what part of you
Mm.
bonded with this person? Is it the unhealed trauma of the personal life? Because you can
Mm.
connect in church and trauma bond because you were church hurt. You can
Mm.
connect with a therapist that has some unhealed stuff because we still work on things as well.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's a bond there because we're hardwired
Mm-hmm.
for connection. We're going to always find connection.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. With trauma bonding, it kind of ties into it. Um, what I've seen a lot of is parents who, I mean, your parents, they raised you or they don't raise you or whatever the situation is, that have adult children.
Mhm.
And I'm trying to be sensitive because this is somebody's situation or somebody's situation.
Mm.
And they may not see it, but we're transparent in here. So you may have a parent or parents who um, feel like even though I have adult children and even though I want them to, have a life of their own, I feel like they owe me their life.
Mm.
I feel like, you know, I can act a fool or I cannot, live up to my, potential because my kids, they owe me. So what would you say to that child or those children who are dealing with something like that, who parent is just like, you know what? I'm gonna hold them up because I don't want them to see I sacrificed my life for them. So now they have to sacrifice their life for me.
Because you said this will be someone else will hear this. And I'll say it like
Mm-hmm.
this. They need to reparent their inner child. Reparenting your inner child. Something was wrong. It's generational trauma. When does it stop? When does it stop? Because at one point you have to say, no, 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 we're not passing this down. No, 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 we're not doing this. And at some point we're going to turn and look because as a mother, they don't owe me anything but to be better than I am. They
Yes.
don't owe me anything but to show up and be the best version that they can be out here in this big old world. They don't owe me anything but to be a better parent than I was. Because again, we were only given the tools that we had.
Yes.
And that's how we're going to show up in this world. So,
Mm-hmm.
with that, you do what you can while you can. And when you know better, you do better. So, educate, I'm a big advocate for education. You are as good as your exposure. So, when this meets the masses, someone will hear and a life will be changed. Read and expose yourself. Your parents don't know everything. And I go back to the day I realized that I was smarter than my mom, when I knew better than when I knew more than she knew. And I was like, that don't seem right. Why would I why would I do this? Because this is going to give me an adverse effect. Not that she didn't love me, but that was as big as
Mm-hmm.
her exposure could take her. That's why
Yeah.
mentorship is so important. That's why godparents are so important. That's why grandma and Mima and Big Mama and them are so important.
Mm-hmm.
Because if mom is behaving in this manner, something's hurting her. And it may not be the child, but that's the closest outlet. They don't owe
Mm.
you anything. So where you fell short, she got to go fix that on her own. Or he, because dad too. Go fix that on your own.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You're transferring that stuff over to a child, and that child is now sitting there feeling as if they cannot live their life because they owe you. That's a bonding moment too. To where you have to go now and say, you know what? I need to heal me. Mom, you need to go heal you. And when a healed person meets another healed person, they shine different. They see
Yeah.
differently. They
Yeah.
communicate differently. They're not so apt to anger. They want to get an
Mm.
understanding. Because I too have had to go back
Mm.
and say to my children, ooh, I did y'all a doozy. My bad. And be big
Mm.
enough, be mama big enough to say, oops, my bad. I'm
Mm.
sorry. How can I help you
Yeah.
now? And sometimes
Yeah.
the damage is really deep, but through therapy, you can heal it. And you know better.
Mm.
Now you know better and you can move forward in love.
Yeah. Yeah.
You got to move forward, but they don't owe you. You owe you the job of going to heal
Mm.
and figuring out, well, what did I miss? What did
Yeah.
I miss? What held me back? Because as long as you got life, breath, and energy, and you're able to inhale and exhale, you can go back and get whatever it is you feel your kids owe you. If that's time,
Yeah.
they don't owe you time because you don't own time. So use
Mm.
the time, use now and go and do whatever it is. If it's education, go back and get it. If it's the
Mhm.
job, go back and get it. If it's a dream deferred, go get it.
Okay. Yeah.
Go get it. Who
Yeah.
said you can't? You?
Yeah.
Because I was a teen mom. Mm-hmm. And went and got it.
Mm-hmm.
So pigeonholing your kids or clipping their wings because you're afraid that they're going to fly higher than you are.
Mm.
Mm-mm-mm. Who hurt you?
Yeah.
So reparenting
Yeah.
that inner child, it's a big step, but it has to happen in order for that generational trauma to stop.
Mm.
That way it doesn't move forward because nothing changes if nothing changes.
Can I just say you and I talked a few weeks
Mm-hmm.
ago, and then I went ghost, which is typically what I do. And the preparation for the episode after we got off the phone really started
Mm-hmm.
a few weeks ago. And then I went on vacation, which I needed.
Absolutely.
Um, and it was amazing. My friend actually gifted me a cruise, my first ever cruise for my birthday. Yeah, and yeah, and we went, and it was amazing. I don't know if I've ever taken that many naps in a 5 day period, but I was napping so much, and I was eating that good food,
Yeah.
um, and just enjoying the water,
Mm-hmm.
um, because my and another transparent moment, the water to me has always been like a connection.
Mm-hmm.
And the last time that I thought of suicide, I went to the water,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, I should just jump. And I didn't. I'm here. But that the last time I went, it was to the water, And I was like, they're not gonna find me, da da da. And if they do, nobody's gonna care. That when I mean being out on the sea was so peaceful.
Mhm.
And then my friend was like, she made a reference and she was like, when the sky hits the water and they connect, you gotta know it's a God.
Mm.
And then I had the experience to see what she was talking about. And I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. Right. And then I came back and I went straight into work mode and getting to the point where I'm like, okay, episode's coming up. And I knew that this episode, and I'm not tooting my own horn, but I'm a toot for a little bit, okay? Because the last episode that I recorded was with the Dream Girls, and then before that, it dropped. The last episode of the year dropped on my 35th birthday,
Okay.
and I said that my last chapter that I'm going into is go time, right? And so, um, I'm gonna toot my own
Listen,
horn
did you
because
see your body just then? Because the shoulders just rolled. You sat
listen,
into that thing. Yes.
listen. I'm gonna toot my own horn. The transition from my season before that, coming out of the fog into go time, this is the manifestation of some things. Okay,
Listen, I don't know who
this is
gonna
some
see this, but
manifestation.
this is like real time. Like I like
Real,
you
listen,
better go. I'm like I be talking
listen,
like I talk to
listen.
my clients. You better go with your amazing self.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. But I say that to say I knew this was going to be an amazing episode. I knew that the conversation was just going to flow so organically. I knew that the connection was a spirit connection, and I knew it. Like I just knew it. And sitting in it right now, and this is something I don't typically do, but sitting in it right now, I'm like, whoo, whoo. Like literally, I'm like, when the world sees this,
Mm-hmm.
when the world sees this, they're gonna be like, oh, we getting a chance to experience it. But when the world sees it,
There you go. There
okay,
you go.
I just can't wait. I can't wait.
You listen.
I can't wait.
Wow moment. Wow
Mm-hmm.
moment. It is purely
Mm-hmm.
authentic, energetic exchange ordained. Here we are in real time talking
Yeah.
about love, leading up to what the world deems as a love day. So,
Mm. Yeah.
what is
Yeah.
love?
Shh.
What do you
Which is going. Listen, that's good. That's going to end the show. What's going to end the show is this question: what does it look like for you to be properly loved?
I'm so glad you asked. I'm so glad you asked. This is me. What do I expect from love? I
Mm-hmm.
expect love to choose me first,
Mm.
not forget me. Hold me in a warm embrace to allow me the freedom to choose to love myself. I want to know what love feels like. I expect love to be consistent. I expect love to be clear. I expect love to be
Mm.
calm. Do I believe I deserve love? Hmm, yes. However, I have my doubts that linger in my thoughts that I am worthy of the love I desire. Do my expectations align with my own actions? Do I
Mm.
expect from love what I'm going to get from love?
Mm.
What am I trying to accomplish with love? Heal the
Mm.
broken parts of myself, encourage my self worth, conquer every fear, doubt, and misbelief, releasing
Mm.
codependency that I did not choose, releasing all abandonment because I am full and filled, loving myself enough in spite of. What is the experiences that I desire to have with love? I want to love like my heart has never been broken. I,
Mm.
I will love the way God so chooses and loves me. And I will never again place that type of love in man because God feels me first. I feel me next. And everything else is a byproduct of everything that I've done for me. So I get to experience love and share love.
Mm.
I'm not expecting love to show up because I am love, because I show up
Mm.
for me.
Mm. 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 Mm.
I
Phew.
doing the work. Every
Yes.
voice that hears this, do the work. You are worth it. Go heal. Go and heal. Is it easy? Nope, but you're worth it. You're
Yeah.
worth the work.
Yeah.
You're worth it. You are the biggest investment.
Mm.
The biggest investment. So here we are, Valentine's Day coming up.
Mm-hmm.
Do I expect to be showered with all these things? No, because every day is Valentine's Day.
Yes.
So for those, every
Yes.
day is Valentine's Day. So write your own self-love letter. I wrote one
Mm.
years ago and I read it each and every Valentine's Day. And I wrote a love letter to my first love,
Mm.
our first love, my first love, who
Mm.
first loved me.
Yes.
And for those that hear it that may have a torn and strained relationship with their first love, how do we build any relationship? We reconnect.
Mm.
We reconnect. So love looks different for everyone, but for me,
Yes.
it starts right here within. And even in
Mm-hmm.
your space of loneliness and feeling alone, even when you are not connected to a person, connect within. Find something that
Mm-hmm.
fills your spirit. Find something that
Yeah.
makes you smile, makes you laugh, that
Yeah.
brings joy, not happiness, because happiness is predicated on what's happening.
Happening.
Joy.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Be able to share those things that you love about life with someone. And even if that's standing in front of the mirror, affirming who you are, that's enough
Mm-hmm.
too. That feels good too. Giving yourself a good hug. I have a friend that when I say we give good hugs to one another, when I say
Yeah.
good hugs,
Good hugs.
it's
Yeah.
feeling.
Yeah.
And not for the FEEL, the FILL. Because we can get it mixed up. Because it's not
Mm-hmm.
a sexual thing. It's a
Mm-hmm.
phileo love. It's an agape love. It's not a
Mm-hmm.
sexual love.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. It's two. It's actually two words that could explain how to love me properly,
Mm,
or what love feels like properly for me. It's clear and it's soft.
yeah. Yeah.
And those two words are so full
Mm,
because this talks about, you know, generational things. Love for me, I say I grew up in love, but there were some unclear moments with love with me. Like going back to like my childhood,
mm-hmm,
right? So now I just want it clear. Do you love me or do you not? Do you care or do you not? Do you support me or do you not? And if you don't, I'm okay with that because that's your truth.
mm-hmm.
But for me, I need it to be clear, black or white.
Okay.
I'm not a gray person. So it's something that I saw and it was like, people who pretty much uh love and are the nicest persons around, they have another side that's just as extreme,
Mhm.
right? And that's me. I'll give you the shirt off my back, money in my pocket, time, energy, love, light. I'll give you all of that. But just don't me over, because that other side is a cold shoulder, and I don't want to deal with that. There is no gray. I'm going to pick a side. Now, which side are you going to have me pick? So, clear for me is a reflection of my character, but it's also a reflection of what I want from someone else. Just be clear and soft, because I'm a woman,
Mhm.
and I'm a great woman. I'm an amazing woman.
Say that.
But I just want to be able to be soft in the places where it's perceived that I need have to be hard.
Mhm.
I want to have a soft landing. I want a home, not just a house.
Mhm.
Cuz a home is an
Mhm.
experience, but a house is a location.
Mhm.
And so I just want to be soft. In this world that could make you hard, I don't want to be that. I want to be soft. And my softness is actually not a weakness,
Mhm.
it's my greatest strength.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's impactful when you know who you are and what you desire and what you deserve. And
Mm-hmm.
those are your expectations of how you desire to be loved. And anything contrary to that is not going to fit well. So when you show up
Mm-hmm.
and this is your expectation that my love is soft and it is clear, it is concise, because you know what that's going you're going to behave in a different manner if it's not, because then we go to
Mm-hmm.
thinking, if it's not clear for me, some people will overthink things and read
Mm-hmm.
between the lines, read above the lines, read below the lines. And I am one to say to my clients, I can't compete with the things that are going on in your head. So therefore, I need for you to convey what your expectations are. So tell
Mm-hmm.
me what it is that you need. Tell your partner what it is that you need. And if in their ability to show up and meet you at that measure, however you weigh it, but you also you come with that same measure, because you can't expect someone to meet you up here and you're a perfect 20,
Mm-hmm.
and you're not meeting them, you're not expecting them to be a perfect
Mm-hmm.
20.
Mm-hmm.
Because if we see people as perfect 20s and they showing up as twos,
You're right.
come on now.
Yeah.
You Here we go.
Yeah.
So your expectation can't beat your effort now.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You have to show up and meet
I
them
yeah.
there.
I honestly had to really do some self-reflecting, because when I was on vacation, I asked my friend, I was like, "Man, you paid for this." Da, 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 da. And she was like, "In the time we've been dating, what have you done?" And it wasn't what have you done, like, what have you done? It was like, you showed up for my birthday.
Hmm.
We start dating, but we've known each other for some years, but we started talking in April.
Hmm.
Her birthday was in June. And she's like, "You put my birthday together in literally a month and a half. A great birthday.
Hmm.
Like, we go out. You don't say, "Oh no, I'm not gonna." This is a reciprocal relationship,
Mm-hmm.
and it made me because in this journey, there are times that you go back to your trauma.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like I have this all together.
Speak.
And at that moment, I was going back to my trauma of, man, she gonna say something after this, or like, because that's my
Yeah.
experience.
Yeah. Yeah.
But she, and that's what I mean by soft, because it wasn't a, man, I can't believe we spoke to each other with so much
Yes.
respect.
That's how you know when you are with a person that is healed and or healing. They show
Yeah.
different. They will watch you.
Yes.
With the person that I'm dating now, again, they are, I study you, not to manipulate, to
Mm.
control you, but the
Yes.
words are, I know you and I'm still getting
Mm-hmm.
to know you. So I know when you really want to say something. And likewise, they're professional as well. So,
Mm-hmm.
mm, gentle, soft,
Yes. Yes.
ease. Because as a professional, it get busy sometimes. But then there's time
Yeah.
I'm not gonna bring work home. And as a
Mm-hmm.
professional, they're not gonna bring work home. But it
Mm-hmm.
take a special kind of person to deal with the healed person, and that special person is another healed or healing person. Now,
Healing. Yeah.
we all are some ex somethings. However, it doesn't meet the front at first meet. Like you
Mm-hmm.
said, like, oh, that trauma stuff, that still is gonna come up. Like, ooh, it's gonna come up until it's met with something that is healed to where you don't have to react that way anymore. Because every time
Mm-hmm.
she meets you with ease of, oh, baby, that's okay. And you don't hear it come up 3 months from now,
Mm-hmm.
6 months from now,
Mm-hmm.
that
Yeah.
button starts rescinding. And it's like, that's no
Listen.
longer a trigger
Yeah.
for you. It's no longer a
Yeah.
space where it's like, okay, an automatic reaction. No, because my
Mm-hmm.
partner don't do that to me. So that button
Yeah.
is now uninstalled. So nobody's going to push that button
Yes.
anymore. So that's
Mm-hmm.
how you know when you heal from some things, it don't affect you as much anymore. Not that it didn't
Mm-hmm.
until it is encapsulated with some other gentle stuff. It's like you don't have to react
Mm-hmm.
anymore. Not that those things about us saying little it has a time and place
Yeah.
for it. It's just not this
Yeah.
relationship.
Yeah.
It's just not in
Yeah.
connection. It's not with this partner. And then you know when
Yeah.
someone brings those things out of you, it's like, ew, that don't feel good. Like, ew.
You don't.
Because
Yeah.
the
Uh,
affirmations that I speak over myself in the morning and in the noonday and the night is a life of ease and
mm-hmm.
pleasantries. And it is not all that rah, rah, rah. Like, no.
Mm-hmm.
So to see me
Yeah.
now, it's like, well, who is that? Heal happy and
Yeah.
whole. Who is that? Uh,
Healed, happy, and whole.
huh,
I love that.
who is that now speaking?
Yeah.
Drama and trauma free.
Yes.
So this is the manifestation of EMDR.
Mm-hmm.
So some trauma stuff that was embedded in me, 40 years of some stuff had to be undone. And that's what good therapy does. So that
Mm-hmm.
is, oh, where do I feel that in my body? And I am EMDR certified. So it's like, okay, let's get this out. Okay, let's deal
Mm-hmm.
with this stuff. So what's down in there? Who said? Did you say who
Mm-hmm.
said? Okay then. So when we start working on that inner work, man, please, the partner that you choose, not end up with, the partner that you
Yeah.
choose
To choose.
reaps
Yes.
all of the benefits. And and they
Yes.
should be a reflection of all of that heal stuff too. And then we won't
Mm-hmm.
trauma bond.
Yeah.
Beautiful
Yeah.
stuff.
Beautiful stuff. Yeah. You said you had some resources for
Yes. So there is
listeners.
a
Okay.
life balance self care wheel.
Mm-hmm.
For those that are starting out, it is not sponsored. However, I speak about it on my platforms. Her name is Alexandra
Mm-hmm.
L. Her name's Alex L. She's on all social media platforms. When I started out, I didn't know what to do and how to do. And I started with Today I Affirm. It is a journal that nurtures self care. It challenges you to start and do the work. And the first question is, what am I in this very moment? And being honest with
Mm.
yourself.
Yeah.
And that's where I began. Everyone's journey is a little different, but for those that don't know or don't have those resources, start online and be intentional and just be honest with yourself, because you can't want to be authentic and transparent
Mm.
when you are being deceptive to the person that hears it. And that's you.
Mm. Yes.
So, starting out, and if you're feeling lonely, connect with somebody. And this Valentine's Day, may you find the best love of all, and that's some self love.
Mm. Yes. 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 Thank you so
You're
much, Sam.
welcome.
Thank you so much. This was
Thank
amazing.
you.
I cannot wait for everyone to see the finished product,
Yeah.
because we got to experience it. We got the best. We got to experience it.
Yes.
But I hope that everybody that sees this gets the
Mm,
experience that we got.
yeah. It
Yeah.
feels good.
It
It
feels
feels
good. Yeah.
good. It
Yeah.
feels good.
Yeah.
My spirit
Mhm.
is full. Thank you
Yeah.
for sharing this platform. And until the next time,
Yes. Yes.
until the next.
All right.
All right.
We are out.